me? Like, that's a very common question in counseling. Like, when somebody do something, like if somebody do cheat and they decide to do the right thing, a very common question is, I would feel like a fool if I went and tried again, because what if he do it again? Or what if she do it again? Because really, some statistics show that actually women cheated more than men. So even though they keep putting it out on the internet that men are doing so much cheating, some statistics actually show that women actually cheat more than men. But so I'll tell them, I said, even if it's your last day with your partner, you don't want to be a bitch on the last day. You know, you want to leave a good impression. It's your job to do your best, regardless of what you're feeling in the situation. Do your best towards your partner. So I definitely do believe in that. I like that you said that. But that was just something that's been disturbing to me, because sometimes I do just, be on the internet surfing, and there's just so many negative messages. I mean, I feel like it's very harmful to relationships to just have these negative messages out there. I don't really see many positive messages, because if you have a positive message, I mean, they don't really share it.
Maybe that's what we
they don't share it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
maybe that's what we need to promote it.
We always,
because we're always looking at the negatives, rather than looking at the positive. The more you feed on the negative, the more it becomes bigger.
Right.
If you feed on the positive, it becomes bigger. So we have to have this mindset, saying, that even though this is going on, also this negative stuff is going on, there's also a positive thing going on, and let's focus on that. Like I mentioned that before, in any marriage, it's a conflict, whether it's cheating or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people cheat, one time, and they say, well, it's a mistake, and they never do it again. Let's talk about this, and let's work this thing out.
Right.
Because one person cheating doesn't mean everybody else is cheating.
Right. I'm just going by the men.
That's generalization.
Right, I'm just going by I'm just talking about the messages. But I like one thing that I got out of this is, we need to continue, and hopefully the community will do that too. We need to share more positive messages.
Yeah,
it's because these negative messages, because we like excitement and we like entertainment. And so when we share these negative messages, and when as a man you come on and add one more negative comment to it and endorse it, I mean, it just makes for negativity in the community. I think it hurts relationships.
Yeah, it definitely hurt relationships. Yeah.
But I like how y'all help reframe that for me to say, you know what? Let's see if we can continue to maybe promote more positive messages out here. Let's get more positive messages out. So I hope for the community that you will share more positive relationship messages.
Yes, definitely. And then even doing the research on positive relationships, we don't understand those factors. How did y'all get through? You know what I mean? We always get the divorcees, the prisoners that we gotta do, and then the bad kids. We never talked about the positives, right? How how do you get out of that situation even though you went through that trauma?
Right.
We need to interview people like that and collect data on those so we know what to pass on as well.
Okay. So I like that, because we will start trying to do that, have some positive interviews that even if you face the situation, how did you get through it? Right. That's actually my study though, is how people stay in relationships, because the Gottman study how people were successful in relationships. That's what the whole Gottman is about. And I would like to share one of the top way that people make marriage work. One of the things that kills marriage, the top thing that kills marriages is criticism. That's the number one thing that kills marriages is criticism. So the thing that actually builds marriages and keeps people together is appreciations. Is appreciating people. Showing appreciations, actually saying that you appreciate it. One of the things I see with women and men is they'll say, you don't do nothing. So that nothing, I'll be telling them, well, there are actually people that don't do nothing. All they do is lay on the couch. They won't help people. They won't help the kids with their work. They won't even keep the kids at all. So stop saying your man don't do nothing when he go to work 40 hours a week, or your woman don't do nothing when they go to work 40 hours a week and they help pay them bills, because that is something. That may not be everything you want. That is something. So finding a way to appreciate more and not just appreciate it in your head, but verbalize, I appreciate this and I appreciate that, and show your appreciation towards things is one way to grow relationship. Anyway, so I'm just leaving it to y'all now. Any questions or things that you have, you talk about, you deal with a lot of men. So is there anything that you would like to talk about today? Dr. Dan?
Just kind of like you mentioned appreciation. I think that's important. Like in marriage, we forget. Even the small things you got to be appreciated for. And I don't think, I don't hear enough men tell me that their wife say, hey, I appreciate you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that has to happen, especially if he going out, you know what I mean, on a day-to-day grind, and you know what I mean, you cold switch because you're in the, Eurocentric world, trying to be a black man in this world, and the stress that go along with that, you know what I mean, and then coming home and just not the feeling the appreciation, it can get, it can be difficult sometimes. So and it go both ways. He should be telling the same thing. Hey, you do a great job with the kids, right?
Okay.
I like the work that you do with the kids. You keep our house, sanitized. You keep it clean, right?
Okay.
And if you work a little bit, just hey, babe, I appreciate you, right? You know what I mean? And I think that can go a long ways in these relationships. So.
Okay.
And also understanding, there's something about what they call the love language.
Yeah.
The
5 love languages.
5 love languages. If my wife doesn't like to be, likes flowers, and I can be giving her all the money, but I'm not speaking that language. She wants the flowers. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the same. It's also for a man. For me, one of my love languages, service. And so I need to be encouraged as far as, hey, you're doing a good job, when I do community outreach or those kind of things. Those are the things that make me happy. So I think, like I said before, I will encourage couples to look at the love language of, your other partner.
The 5 love languages.
Right.
Okay.
And that's how you can meet the other person's need.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I deal with the 5 love languages a lot. Gifts, and I like that one thing to mention, to understand about the 5 love languages is that you need to do that person's love language to them and not your love language. Because a lot of people get the love languages mixed up. Like they like gifts, so they keep giving gifts to their partner. But that doesn't feed their partner's love language. You need to find out your partner's love language and feed it. Yeah. So acts of service, like my particular one is acts of service. If I ask you to do something, I want it done like yesterday.
Maybe not like yesterday.
I'm just saying, I'm impatient. Just saying, so I don't want you to do 100,000 things for me. Just do what I'm asking you to do. Yeah. So, and then some people's could be physical touch. I can't even. I know.
Affirmation, something.
Yeah, words of affirmation. A lot of people's are words of affirmation. Yeah. What I do tell my clients, and then there's the last one. What's the last one? Gifts, physical touch, quality time. So the last one is quality time. But the main thing to know about the 5 love languages is that you need to do that person's love language to them and not your love language. If your love language is physical touch, and then you touching on the other person all the time, that might not be filling their tank. You need to use their own, feed their own love language. So that's one thing. And I tell my clients to just use a little bit of all of them. Give a gift every now and then. Give a gift every now and then. Affirm a person. Just send them a positive message. Hey, you look good today, or whatever whatever it is. Ask a service. Ask them, what can I do to feed your love language today? Literally ask them and do that particular thing.
Practice, yeah.
Right, so I tell them, like, if you want to continue to make sure that your relationship is good, utilize all the 5 love languages here and there. When you get to the point, be like, hey, I need to be doing something. Seems like I need to be doing something. Go to the 5 love languages and use the 5 love languages. But I really like how y'all just said to promote these positive messages. Continue to stay focused on the positive messages, because I could get unfocused too as a therapist when I see all these messages, because it's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
but,
like you said, controversy sells. Right?
Yeah, that's what people like.
That's the controversy you go see. You know what I mean? So it's boring. Positive stuff.
Yeah, real stuff is boring. Y'all don't want to see the real therapist. This is what we study all day. Literally, I know I study all the time. I even listened to a book today on secure functioning because I promote secure functioning. Like I already have a doctorate, but I still study all the time to ensure that I'm giving the best quality services to my clients. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all want to hear people on and we have evidence-based practices. Like I study evidence-based things and what's really going on. Like what do statistics say? Like they have real information on stuff. Y'all just want to listen to Ray. Oh, I don't know what he's talking about. But what was you gonna say, Dr. Ruckos?
Oh, I was going to talk, in language, in love languages, My love language is act of service, act of service.
Yeah. And all three of us.
And for me, it doesn't matter how my wife affirm me. It really don't matter because
you already. So that's already
let me do my act of service. And that for her it's affirmation. She loves affirmation. So.
If I don't do what I ask you, don't tell me that.
Just tell me you love me, hug me. That's all she's looking for.
But do what I ask you.
And so it doesn't matter what I buy her. It's like just I want you to affirm little things I do.
Right. Notice the little small things
I do, and that's what makes her happy.
Right. Okay. So anything that you've just read into, like you say you talk to men all the time. I mean, I personally like to hear what men be thinking about and where they mind be at, and I do. I'm a woman. I'm not a man. I don't know what they be thinking about. Anything that you can, insights.
I don't know, and maybe you can kind of help answer this. I've been seeing this guy for a minute, and he's dating. He's in a dating relationship with somebody, and he definitely likes her, what I mean? But he said he never saw her raw face, right? Real hair, real face. And would it be rude for him to ask her before, is that rude for him to ask her, hey, can I see you natural? You know what I mean? From a lady standpoint. Is that rude for him to say that?
Take the makeup off and everything.
Let me see you natural before I make these large steps.
That's a good one. Can I see you without all your makeup? Can I see you without weave? Well, how natural do he want her to go? No weave? He want to go back to the day? Big afro on top of her head and everything?
I want to see her natural in this, That's,
before I go to the marriage, I want to see the real you.
Preference of a client, and he was just asking me, how do I say that, man? She's always, how do we say that?
Yeah, I get you. I mean, me personally, I'll go to Walmart with the 4 braids down my head. What was that? What was the one on Set It Off?
Yeah.
Like Cleo. So, I don't care about hiding. But I do know some women, personally, because, I do hair. That's my first love. And I still do it. That would never, ever let a man see them, not totally fixed up.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, it may be offensive to some women. To do that, but to me personally, it's not. But I can see how to some women, they don't, want a man to see them, to see them not being perfect. Not having a face full of makeup. I don't personally. All I wear is eyeliner and lipstick. Don't get on the part of the session. I can leave. Bye. But anyway. So what was we talking about? Oh yeah, the whole makeup thing. I don't know. Did anybody I don't personally care, but I do see how I do know that some women do want to, have that whole, look a certain way and don't want the man. But I personally, as a man, I think that I would want to see it too. I don't see anything wrong with wanting to see you without your whole makeup on. But as a man, I probably would have a problem with a woman who wants to be so perfect too, because that would show me the idea that, like, you're not really that comfortable with who you are.
That's correct.
And how do I break that? Do I got to do therapy on you for you to be more comfortable? No, I'm saying as a man, like, you don't feel comfortable with who you are. Why do you feel so uncomfortable with who you are? That's what
the man asking that question.
Yeah, but I would wonder
that you can't.
The man can just ask the question, simply, I would like to see natural self.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
So it's a fair question.
Right, it's a fair question, Is that okay with you? If it's depending on what the woman says.
Yeah.
Just be Big plan. Get to the point.
Would he tell her something though? Would he give her he tell her why he wanted to see her? Like what do you think? Do you think if it's you and you want to see a woman like that, do you think that would you tell her why you wanted to see her?
Yeah,
or what would you say?
Just want to see, unveil behind the veil.
You want to see all the moles and everything?
That's what you got, you know what I mean?
Do they got to take that thing off? Women be wearing that faja. Do they got to take their faja off?
So what else? Because if you kind of hide that, what else you hide? Your trauma.
Okay, I like that. What else are you hiding?
What else you hide from an emotional standpoint if you can't just be you, right? You know,
right. I would definitely
psychological issues that we can hide when we go into these relationships sometimes. You crazy. You know what I mean? And so just being able to to be like a mannequin and kind of they hide. They can hide that for a period of time. You know what I mean? So So.
Yeah. What else are you hiding? Yeah. So when you got two fajas on and you need to hide each piece of fat, why? Yeah. What are you hiding?
You.
I think also another thing is that when they do go out, they do the man can ask for go out and just listen. I think one of the things about men is when I listen to them. I tell people all the time.
I'm still about women. Go ahead.
If I want to really know you, I just have to listen to you for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because out of the heart, the mind speaks. Yeah. You can say
out of the heart, the man speaks.
The mind speaks.
Yeah, and I'm breaking down, analyzing every word you're saying. What does it mean? I have that. For me, I have that path. Like I say, if I really want to know you, I just shut up for you to. I shut up.
Okay.
I let you speak for 5 minutes, and I just.
Okay.
Analyze everything.
And you analyze anyway, I bet you are analyzing. And people should know I don't analyze you because I don't work for free. So if I'm not in my therapy, I don't analyze you. So don't worry about it. But he say analyzing I never analyzing somebody.
I ask you questions. What do you like and what's what kind of friends you hang around with, those kind of things. And people talk when you ask those questions,
Right.
Make it open the questions.
I agree.
Right.
Because men need to, into relationships, men need to ask questions. Like, we're asking them questions.
They said men need to ask questions.
My thing is, we kind of look at a big button to smile.
Right.
Yeah, big button to smile. And half of it got a fire.
He said, never trust that. They call it poison, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just meaning that, hey, we got to ask more questions. Where's your emotional intelligence?
Right.
Where's your, your emotional state as opposed to, where's your work ethic, your ambition? We forget about those questions because we're looking at your butt, right?
Right.
So we got to do better. We got to do better in terms of teaching a younger generation, hey, make sure you getting quality right there. Make sure she's not an airhead just for the big bucks.
Make sure she bringing something else to the table, not just she pretty, and then you mad when you owe the whole mortgage and she ain't got $12 on it.
Exactly, like Dr. Roque, you just gotta listen. You gotta listen a little bit more. She gonna tell you, that I ain't paid my mortgage, but I got a $700 weave. She gonna let that out, right?
Yeah, I got a $700 weave. I got my hair done, but I ain't got. But can I borrow $600 to finish paying my rent this month?
We just been dating for a month. You asking me for money?
Right? A month, right?
And you carrying this what do you call it? This bag? What
Yeah, and a lot of those women you said about the makeup. A lot of these women with all that makeup and all that stuff on, they do need all these other expensive things too. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a good thing to know. How many expensive things do you need? How many name brands do you need? Like, I got to be able to pay for them. But that's women and men. Men too. Like, I think women need to be looking at that. Yeah. Like, what are these other excessive things that you need for you to feel okay with who you are?
Correct.
And we was talking about, men asking more questions, but I feel the same thing with women. Mm-hmm. I tell women, listen and do not encourage the conversation. Just listen. And just listen. Don't keep, I believe this or I believe that. Just listen and ask more questions to promote more conversation, but do not encourage the conversation. Mm-hmm. Because what women do a lot is they try to encourage the conversation and then they believe that men bought into their point of view. And they didn't. they still believe whatever they said at first. But women be like, oh, now, like I've made him smarter. He believe that. No, he don't. That I use the motivational interviewing with that. You know, like people believe what come out of their own mouth.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
Just because you tell the person something, they don't mean they all of a sudden believe it.
That's true.
They still believe what they said. Their brain heard what they said, and they believe what they said.
Yeah, true. And I think in therapy, I work on that. Hey, I work on what's another perspective about that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get my clients to see more than one perspective because they do be tunnel vision sometimes. Right. It's just happening, and they get tunnel vision. Hey, let's look at it from another angle. Let me ask you some questions that open you up about another angle, so you can start to learn to take perspective sometimes. Right. You know what I mean? So a lot of people get in trouble because they don't know how to take perspective.
Using tunnel vision, not being open.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'll ask them like the same thing. I'll ask them, what are one or two other possibilities?
True.
But then another question that I ask a lot of clients, I said, like, you know, I can't say stuff that I said you do it, but I'll ask a client this: what if you would fight for, like, say for instance, if they were fighting with their partner, if they were focusing on their partner and not themselves, I'll say, what if you would fight for your peace instead of you fighting because you're fighting to keep trying to change your partner. But what if you would fight for your own peace instead of fighting to try to change your partner? Because you keep talking to them and they keep staying in that same direction. Well, I asked them, but what if you would fight for something different than what you're fighting for now?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of you fighting against your peace and your sanity, what if you fight for it? What would you do different if you would fight for it?
Correct.
And so that, to me, that turns some people, that helps to start people to being more open. Like, give me 3 options. It don't matter. You don't have to know the answer. Just throw 3 possibilities out there and let's talk about it.
The perspective.
Right. You don't have to know the answer, and you don't have to know the full answer, the complete answer. Just how do we start? If you were to start fighting for your own peace, if you were to start fighting for your me, you know, yourself, what would you do? If you would take the focus from what that person could, what you wanted them to do, but you start to focus on what you can do, what would you do different if you were to fight for that, for doing what you can do in the situation? And then that, sometimes that can help people open up too.
Right. And
give me an idea. How can help people open up to change?
When I ask, my thing with counseling is that, I let them know. I use this analysis all the time about wanting to change somebody else.
Right. That's what most people come to counseling want to do. It's somebody else's fault. It ain't my fault. Couldn't possibly be my fault.
Yeah, if everybody's like me.
I do it too, so I ain't perfect either. We can do it too.
If everybody's like me, the whole place is going to be boring.
I like that.
For real.
And so it's focusing on you, what makes you happy, what gives you that peace of mind.
Okay.
The more you want to change someone else, the more they resist.
Yeah.
And the more stress. Like I was talking to someone yesterday about the stress can cause a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of black men with a lot of health issues because of the stress they're going through. And it's focusing on me is about, okay, when I focus on my health, when I focus on me changing some things about me, then the other person will come along.
They watching you model.
They're watching you model, right? Exactly.
Especially if it's in a positive direction. Right? Everybody like that positive energy.
Right.
I'm making changes and it's positive. People gravitate to that.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you make the changes within yourself and people gravitate towards it.
Especially the positive changes within yourself. You know what I mean?
They can finally see it. They can see
the action, and people like that. You know what I mean? A lot of people like that and gravitate to that.
Right. I like that because I tell my clients sometimes they'll say, their partner won't come to counseling. I say, well, they shouldn't. I mean, why should they buy in until they see something different from you? And a lot of times when the partners see you changing and you showing some positive growth, they say, I like that. Yeah. And they want to buy into it. But why would they buy in if you've been alcoholic all these years and you all of a sudden decide to get clean this week? I mean, why would anybody buy in? But that's how people do in relationships too. They want to, just because I decide I'm ready for something different and I'm ready to do different. I want everybody to buy in. I want the whole household to buy into it. But that's not how people do. When people see your positive growth, I like how you say that. Then they tend to say, "Oh, okay, well, hey, this might be real.
Might be for real, right?
Yeah.
True.
Well, let me get in. Especially, I don't really know. I can't just say for everybody, but I feel like a woman, if we feel you lead and we can see that lead and we can see that it's positive and we can see that it makes sense, I think a lot of times we'll jump on board. We'll follow.
Definitely.
But we need to see it because we ain't finna jump on board when your boat sinks. Every time you get your boat going.
But a lot of times, we bring up that women because they looking at that potential thing. They should already see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Before she even before the relationship starts, hey, in a relationship, I already see this. I already see this.
There's evidence.
This guy growth. I see him rolling. Right? He ain't. You know what I mean? He ain't.
There's evidence already there.
He ain't got no 8-hour phone conversation on the phone with you all day because he's doing stuff. Right? You know what I mean? As opposed to what some people want. Like she giving me all this attention. A lot of times he give you attention because he ain't got nothing else to do.
Right?
You know what I mean? So
he don't have no life.
Exactly.
He don't have no goals.
Yeah. So.
He available because he don't have no goals.
Yeah. He's giving you all the attention you need.
Right.
Then he gonna need all your money.
Go back to the love languages. You're giving your woman all this attention and say, I don't need all that. I need to do something.
Exactly.
Right. I just love it on you. Do something else. Right.
I always say the same thing about potential. Charles Barkley said it best. He said, potential will get you fired.
Right.
I mean, because potential is not a real thing.
It's not.
Potential is a possibility, but you should see real evidence of what is really going on. And that's that reality therapy part of you.
Exactly.
Like, what is the reality?
Yeah.
Forget about the potential, but what is the reality? What do you actually see that's tangible? Because that's what's real.
Yeah, true.
Accepting people as is, whatever you see is who you get.
Yeah.
But women especially, man, they have this whole potential, this dream they have. The person don't even want the dream. Like, hey, look, I told my husband before, he had a dream of who he wanted me to be. I said, I don't even like that person. I'm Sade. This the best I got for you. If you don't like it, I'm unalterable. I'm not this no cloth that you can take this piece and cut that piece and put this piece over there. I'm not that. I'm who you looking at. But that's what people are. People are who you see is who you get. You either accept people as is or you continue to stress yourself out trying to change people. And then that irritates me when people be trying to change people because I'm like, who are you? Like, how do you know how someone should be? You can know if it don't work for you, but you don't know how people should be, if that will work out for them or not. But you just know if it worked for you or not, and you can decide whether to deal with that person. But who are you to try to change somebody?
True.
How do you know the perfect way to be?
Right. For me, I can always see the potential in somebody else.
Okay. Well, that's good in the therapy class.
The whole thing is being the best you can be has nothing to do with you satisfying me.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Some people want to be, okay, I want you to be this, or you can be this so that I can feel good about that.
Yeah.
See, the potential is, look, there's something about you that I can see that will just explode, make you even better than who you are now. You see what I'm saying? I use this as, one of the example I use is the potential of a seed or a seed.
Okay.
You see that seed?
Yeah.
There's some potential in that seed. You can vision what that seed can be.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if the person don't see it,
Or they
don't see it.
They might not even want it.
Well, they have to. If you bring it out in a way that it's not about you,
right?
But it's about them. Yeah. See, the whole thing is, for black men, we have the potential.
Right.
To be the best.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm saying,
definitely.
We do. Because, physically, mentally, we have this resilience.
Yeah,
right?
We are.
Right. But we have to let them see that they do.
Right. We can help them see it. As therapists, we can help them see it. We talking about in a relationship, you need to start seeing it. But as therapists, it's for us to, what did you call that? Evoke that. They have it in them and we help to evoke it. And we can help people see, try to visualize like the potential they may have. I think that is something for us to do and then evoke it. But in a relationship, I think unless that person is in therapy and they're trying to grow, I think that what you see is what you get. But with us, as therapists, I mean, we try to evoke and we try to evoke people to be their best, to grow and to, move into what they feel like is a better place for them. And we have to figure out what that is. Of course, we can offer some ideas if they under like court order. For the court order say you got to be sober. You got to be sober, and you go to jail. But
that's not the point.
I'm just saying.
Right. When people come into treatment, what I tell them is this. They can stay sober.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of times they tell themselves, I've tried so many times.
Right.
I can't stay sober.
Yeah. I can't do it.
I can't do it because of the past failure.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But they can't stay sober.
Yeah.
You sit there with them and you encourage that, but at the same time you give them the tools.
Right. So with more tools,
you give them the tools.
That's definitely true.
Right.
But so. I feel like everybody should have a therapist. In fact, I'm still looking for mine, even as a therapist. But I mean, with tools, and that's one thing that Black people are starting to do it because my caseload is, majority Black, about at least 60% Black people. But gaining new tools, that talks about speaking about the openness. Openness, that's something different. Destiny, turn it off. Just don't answer it. Just read it. Yeah. But anyway, that is open to something different, open to I can do different. Yeah. But that's for each individual person, too. Right.
You know what I'm saying? In AA, they always say, it works if you work it.
Right.
You have to work it.
So that's something that you can see in a person, though. Right. That's some potential you can see in a person that they're trying to grow.
Work it. Yeah,
that they're trying to grow and they're trying to change. So that's one thing that you can see in a person that is not potential, but in reality, they're going to therapy and they're trying to utilize their tools, or they're trying to learn how to be more open, or they're trying to. So I may not see it yet, but I see that they're at least going in that direction. But I ain't gonna have in my idea that they're gonna do that. But if I see them doing that, then I can believe that they can have the potential to change because at least they're going to they're seeking tools.
And that's the stage of recovery, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The action. So we can contemplate and pre-contemplate the action.
Right. One step. They took one. They taking a step.
But as therapists, our goal is to kind of motivate that, though. Hey,
exactly.
You are, man, that's a big step. Going to treatment on your own, or just going in a treatment facility because you got that's a tough decision.
Right, because you got to lay your whole self out. Because I asked the whole self out in front of me because they need to.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
we can't talk about your business.
That's a great step, man. Just to go seek treatment. No, I need treatment. Let me go ahead and tell this person. Because most people leave at the intake stage.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it's just kind of like they're fearful, the embarrassment that go with it, the guilt that go with it. And I will go, hey, we got to motivate you to stay in. It's okay. A lot of people normalize it. A lot of us experience this when we these situations.
Try to go.
So we can motivate people for treatment as opposed to just being like, oh, you don't want to be here. Get out of here. Can't be those type professionals, man. We gotta be the ones that hey, we gotta be invoking and empowering these people, for treatment.
Right. And along the way, the reality also about it is that along the way, you might fail. When you look at the stages of change, they have realized that they have realized that right there. But don't give up.
True. Right. And relapse may not just be, it could be relapse with drugs, relapse in your thought process. You start to relapse in your mind, even before you go hit the cocaine, or before you go, you already it's your mind and already relapsed, right? So
before you go cuss people out again. Whatever your drug is, whatever your habit is.
Whatever you do that you need to change, like you go.
Your mind go first.
Your mind go first.
You relapse there first. So you got to be okay. Once that happens, you need to self-check that.
Right.
Hey, I know my trigger. triggers. Let me calm down. Let me rethink this. Let me respond a little bit better, right? So it's
let me go to the park. Let me do
let me not respond at all. I tell people sometimes when you can't figure out what to do what your grandma said and just be still.
Yeah, and that's a choice. That's a response sometimes.
Yeah, just go and don't do nothing. If you can't figure out what to do sometimes, you don't need to do anything. You need to go and allow yourself time to calm down, slow down your impulse, and then think about what is my next best move. What is the next best move to take? I might not can figure out the whole thing, but what is my next best move?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep y'all all day. Let's see if any insights on the, to anything else that y'all just had on your heart, had on your mind, that you kind of, because to me this is like a little supervision anyway. It's like a little supervision for me because I always learn something.
Yeah, it's always good.
I'm not in supervision, but I always learn something.
One thing I would encourage, especially black men, is to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot, it's not about craziness. Because people always think I ain't crazy. I don't need no therapy. I'm, that kind of. Therapy is not about people we're trying to change you. It's about you talking to someone about the issues. We build that therapeutic relationship. It's just, you come in, we talk about issues and no judgment at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And this kind of thing. So I would encourage, we see the increase, black men and women are coming to therapy now, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with about you being crazy.
Right. Okay.
That's the stigma that prevented. It has prevented a lot of men from going to therapists.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Dr.
And I just second that. Like, man, if you're struggling, go to therapy. Right? If you're struggling with some old stuff that ruminating in your mind, go to therapy, go talk to somebody. You do have other, not a lot, it's sparse, but it is some black men willing to kind of talk to you, that are therapists, right? Just, as well. If not, seek a mentor. I'm always, seek somebody to talk to, a mentor, so we can reduce stuff like suicide, man. We can reduce that. We can try to reduce substance abuse because that triggers substance abuse. All that stuff in your mind triggers substance abuse. So,
especially the past trauma.
The traumas, right?
Right.
Trauma where a lot of black men try to repress.
It's coming up though. It's a defense mechanism. It calm, bro. It come back. It come back.
And that's
in your relationship. It comes back. It comes back.
And with anger, frustration, and all that's the past trauma.
Yeah. Deal with that, man. It helps generation after generation. If you can stop it, it can help the next generation.
Right.
Okay. So do it for the rest. Do it for your kids,
for you
grandkids,
and your generation,
and yourself.
Break that generational stuff that's going on that we know is not good for us.
And just to end, just ending everything. I'm on the same notes. Deal with your trauma. I personally really help people focus on the trauma that hurts relationships, wounds in a relationship. You ain't there for me. You don't prioritize me. Some of that stuff is